Today on the farm, we're going to be talking about one of the very best tractors ever made. The John Deere 4960. What I'm using the 4960 for today is to pull an Umberfirth Perfecta 2 field cultivator. A field cultivator has a series of what we call S-tines, and sometimes we'll run a scooter on the end. These have a sweep instead. A scooter is more or less a point about this big around, kind of shaped like a clamshell on the end, but this one actually has some sweeps on them, plow sweeps, so it's a little bit more aggressive setting. And you'll see on some of my older videos where I'm running a KMC field cultivator, it's a different shape to the S-tine, but it's the same theory. It's just more or less a big spring, so it's moving through the dirt like it's springing, breaking up, it's turning clods like this into stuff like this. And right behind those S-tines there's a drag like a rake, and behind the rake is a beater basket. And so what you get is a real fine tilth behind it. And this is what we want our seed bed to look like. We want this field to be smooth and flat like a bed sheet out here. I have bottom plowed this land. You saw that in a previous video, and while the plow did do a good job, what you'll notice is there's a little bit of a dip right there, and just a little bit of a rise and a little bit of a dip right here. So it's not perfect. It's just a little bit uneven. We got a little bit of this going on here. That field cultivator is going to get it perfect, and that's what we want. We want it to be perfectly flat and no big clods. We want everything fine tilt, because I'm going to get a big rain, hopefully big rain Saturday night. Today's Thursday, so late Friday, early Saturday we're going to get a rain. And when this freshly plowed ground settles, we want it to already be smoothed out, so when it settles back after that rain, it will be just flat as glass, smooth out here, and it will be ready for some peanut seed. Fast I'm pulling this cultivator. A lot of times I'll tell y'all what depth I'm running, how fast I'm going, and what the RPM is. But the reason I can't tell you today is because we have sent the dash off to be worked on. The dash, the instrument cluster on this particular tractor is digital, and we had an issue with it, and it got where you couldn't barely read it. You had to look at it just right, catch the right angle and the right light. You could kind of make it out, and so we took it out and set off and worked on, and that brings up the point of today's video. The 4960, as I proclaim it to be, is the greatest tractor ever made for multiple reasons. The main reason, though, is you can work on it. You don't have to call a tech, and they come out here and hook a computer to it and charge you a $500 field service fee, and then on top of that, the actual repair fee, which involves nothing but them typing on the computer and setting a program to your tractor. No actual wrench turning. If something happens to this tractor, I'll pull over on the edge of the field, get a few wrenches out, solve the problem, and then keep on running. In this case, the digital cluster was messed up, so we unplugged it. It has been mailed off to the other side of the country and is being worked on, but the tractor still functions without it. I'm still able to keep working. Now, I wouldn't recommend just anybody run a tractor without a temperature gauge and a RPM gauge. That's not advised for a rookie. I've been doing this a long time. I can listen to the engine, I can keep up with what's going on. But I want you to try to unplug the instrument cluster on your 8R John Deere, and then see if you can still keep on working. The vocals on this part of the video were hard to hear, so I'm going to overdub them so y'all can understand what I was saying. The other thing about the John Deere 4960 that I like so much is times are tight right now for farmers. Our inputs are skyrocketing and our commodity prices are plummeting. Corn, for example, is below break-even price in the Southeast. So farmers don't have extra money, and in many cases, they don't even have enough money. You can pick up one of these tractors right now, 4960, for around $50,000. A newer tractor, a John Deere 7R 230, is comparable to the same horsepower and size as this. They're currently bringing $300,000. A 7R will be a lot more comfortable and will not be as loud on the inside, but it won't do any more work than this tractor will do. The only difference is $50,000 versus $300,000. The long and the short of it is that if you only had to have one tractor, or if you could only afford one tractor, you could still farm with this tractor. If you had a 8530, this is a great tractor. This is a great tractor. But this tractor is a little too big, too heavy to pull a field cultivator. Now, in other parts of the country where they have bigger fields, they may have field cultivators twice the size of ours, and they may pull them with this. But where we live at, where I live at, where we grow peanuts at, once you've bottom plowed your land, you run a field cultivator across it. And you don't want a big, super heavy tractor packing down that freshly plowed land. A 4960 is the right size that it can plow, and then it can field cultivator. It can run a disc. You can also pick peanuts with it. You can dig peanuts with it. This one tractor can do every task that we do in the Southeast. It's not too big or too small. This is that right size right in the middle. So if you only had one tractor, you could do it. You could farm with a 4960. I'm not sure of any other tractor out there, especially green ones, that are that versatile that you could use. You could get by with just one. That's a perfect size tractor, the most reliable tractor ever made. And if I had to have only one tractor from now on, it would be the John Deere 4960.